Greetings YouTube and welcome back to another vlog. It's been a while since my last one, as I always say, but the problem is that sometimes I haven't got anything to talk about, or perhaps I've been too busy, and other times a bit of both, and it's mostly been the latter. But anyway, I'm back and I thought I'll try and give you an update as to what's been going on. So everything has been going alright, I suppose. I've been busy at work, been busy doing other stuff as well. And yeah, and of course, you've noticed that I've not done a video of me being, a video of me showing my face on camera for a while. Though I have done a few videos like showing you my favourite programs of all time. And of course, I've uploaded some Amiga music. And I'm hoping to do more of that, but as I say, my hands have been a bit tired at the moment. So, yeah, that's all I can really say. But, as I say, the support on YouTube has been absolutely fantastic, especially on the last couple of streams that I've been on. I know it's not very often I do this, but I'm going to have to give a few shout-outs. And the first shout-out I'm going to give out to is the Retro Bear, Russ. Yeah, he does some quality content. He does video game collections, movie collections, and the odd stream here and there. In fact, he does a stream like every, not every Sunday, but every other Sunday, like every fortnight. And he gets a panel. He gets a panel of up to 4 people on there, and they and the rest of the chat discuss some interesting topics, video game related, whether it be games that you would love to own but you can't because they're either too expensive or perhaps they're dead hard to get hold of due to the numbers being limited, and other stuff as well, like what was it? Yeah, discussed about the favourite video game genres, which was the latest one, I believe. Yeah, I recommend the channel. I recommend his channel. And another channel I recommend is Del Boy. And if you're watching this video, Del, then all I can say is your videos are absolutely fantastic. You may have a small number of subs, but that to me means absolutely nothing. For me, the number of subs doesn't matter. It's the person on camera. It's the person who shows the most passion and they enjoy what they do. I honestly believe that numbers don't matter on YouTube. It's all about the friendships and what else? It's all about the friendships and I don't know. I'm just thinking what the perfect words are. I get a bit stuck sometimes. Yeah, the perfect great friendships and a great sense of humour, which is what you need. And I like people like him. He just says what's on his mind, says it how it is. You need more. I honestly wish we had more people like him as well, because unfortunately we now have to coat everything in candy because we don't want to upset the minority. And that's it. What's going to happen? What happens if you get offended? Nothing. You just get offended. That's it. And there's people say, "Oh yeah, I'm just gonna bitch and moan because I didn't like a certain word he said, or I didn't like what it said on his t-shirt," or something like that. People are just trying to look for things to criticize others, and they look for things to get offended at. Even though I reckon half the time they're not even offended, they're just pretending to be because they just want the attention to themselves. They just love the attention. They'll look for anything. They'll look for anything to deflect attention away from someone else so that it's focused on them. Honestly, people like that need serious help. They need help. But as I say, thank goodness the majority of the world isn't like that. Even if the minority are trying to rub it onto us, it's not going to work. They can try as they might. They can try and look for things to ridicule us, look for things to knock us down, but it doesn't work. The only people that they're affecting are themselves. Because the more they look for things to pick apart, the more bitter and resentful they become. I mean, that's the impression I get. I might be wrong about that, but you know, as I say, it's just my opinion. My opinions are just opinions, not facts. And if you can't separate opinions from facts, or use your opinion and act like as if it's facts, you're deluded. I just hate narcissistic people. I really do. And I don't care. Even if they've had a hard time, even if they've had a hard life, you can't use that as an excuse to knock others down who have done absolutely nothing wrong. And they do it to people who are trying their absolute hardest to help them. And that's it. I mean, what's wrong with a little bit of kindness? Sometimes you have to be harsh. Sometimes you have to be critical. But in the end, criticism can help you a long way. Life isn't fair, but sometimes you need to accept criticism for you to become a much better person. It's as simple as that. But anyway, we need more nice people, more kind people in this world. We need more people who just say it how it is, not coat it in candy because that's what society wants to hear. Yeah, the thing is, they want you to say certain things. They want you to say certain things. They want you to do things that they want, not what they need, because wanting and needing are two completely different things. Because wanting is just pandering down to their level, but needing it is giving it need. If I can't even get word this properly, but I think you know what I mean. Where you have to say stuff that needs to be said, that needs to be heard. It can be harsh, but reality is harsh, and that's how it is. But anyway, what else shall we talk about? We'll talk about Cristiano Ronaldo. As you know, I'm not a Manchester United fan. As you can see behind me, I'm a Liverpool supporter. So yeah, but the problem that's happening with Ronaldo at Manchester United is that he wants to leave the club because he's currently not happy with how United have let's just say underperformed this season, and he's been their best player. He's been carrying them on his back because all his other so-called teammates have just been bloody lazy. And they can't accept criticism because, again, the self-entitled narcissists who get paid like £250,000 for playing like absolute arse. And he's not happy because he wanted United to be in the Champions League. He wants his club, he wants the club to be competing like they once did. Back in 2009, 2008, Ronaldo wanted to leave United. He wanted a new challenge. Ferguson said to him, give it another year and see what happens. So of course, Ronaldo did stay for an extra year, and then Fergie let him go the following year to Real Madrid. And yeah, we all know that Cristiano returned to the club last season, and of course, he wanted to show loyalty because he loves Manchester United. He loves the club, but he is not. It's clear he isn't. It's obvious that he has not enjoyed his return. He's tried his best, and you can tell. He may not be quite at the same level as he was, but let me tell you, he makes the other players I'm not kidding you. He makes the other players look like they were playing for Accrington Stanley. In fact, no, that's an insult to Accrington because their players, at least they try, even if they're in the much lower league. But yeah, but he's just made them pathetic. He was their best player last season. He was their top goal scorer. And as I say, United wouldn't have finished sixth without him. I honestly reckon that without him, they probably wouldn't have. They would have been lucky to even make it into the top 10. So I don't know what's going on. Yeah, they brought in Eric Ten Hag, and he wants to get United back. He wants to get United back to where they once were. But with the way the owners are, I honestly can't see that happening for quite a while. And if things don't get any better, honestly, they could be battling for relegation or at least completely miss out on top 10. And that has not happened since 1990. And yeah, that was the year that Ferguson nearly got sacked himself. But of course, that year he won the FA Cup. And as he said, the rest is history. Yeah, Ten Hag wants to make changes at the club. He wants to see United compete with the likes of Liverpool, City and Tottenham. He wants to see United compete with them. But with their owners and everything, it doesn't look like that's going to happen for quite a while. I mean, I've laughed at United for the downfall. But the thing is, after a while, it just becomes, I don't know, it just doesn't become fun anymore. Because I'm starting to miss the days when we competed with United, they competed with us. Nowadays, we just go to Old Trafford and trounce them. In fact, we beat them 5-0 at Old Trafford last season and then 4-0 at Anfield. And the thing is, Liverpool, we were not even playing at our best at all. It just shows you how low the standards have been dropped at Man United. I know. But yeah, they've been really, really poor. Yeah, so they're offloading a lot of players. They're trying to find players that will fit the bill and will help them get to where they want to go. But the problem is they're too slow. They're too slow at their transfers. So a club like Man City will just grab a player before United get a chance. They take too long. And they were interested in signing Nunez, who of course joined us. But as I say, they have the money, but they're not using it. But when you do use that money, did you spend it on players who have been below average? Let's be honest with you. I mean, there's a good player in Sancho, but he hasn't really settled in just yet. And he, you know what? When the Ole Gunnar Solskjaer was there and Ralph Ragnick, even though he was a much better player than Scott McTominay, they still choose Scott McTominay over him. I don't get why. I mean, McTominay. I mean, he's not the worst player for United, but he's not a player that you immediately think of when you look at the team now. I mean, I don't know who the best player is other than Ronaldo. Maybe David De Gea, but he isn't quite at the same level as he once was. He's trying his best, but let's be honest with you. You can't rely on certain players. Yeah, because you have to work as a whole team. Liverpool were a little bit like that before Jurgen Klopp. Things went wrong in like Rafa Benitez's last season. And it took Liverpool a bit of a while to get back to where they once were, and it's good. But I don't know. It's just a funny sport. Yeah, the players just need to take responsibility and up their game. It's like as if they're only interested in their wages, and they're definitely more interested in their social media by doing like stupid dances and all that lot. Alex Ferguson wouldn't allow that. No, he bloody wouldn't. I mean, Jurgen Klopp wouldn't allow it at Liverpool. Jurgen Klopp doesn't allow that at Liverpool. It's a shame. one of the elite clubs, one of the elite clubs in the world have now become a laughing stock. They've laughed at Liverpool for the longest time possible, and in some ways, it's deserved. But in some ways, it's deserved. But as I say, every club goes through a downward spiral. Sometimes it takes a while for it to improve. Sometimes it gets worse, and I mean much worse before it gets better. I mean, look at Nottingham Forest. We all know that they were two-time European Cup champions. One more than Manchester City, may I add, as in like European Cup. But anyway, so yeah, Nottingham Forest, I mean, yeah, under Brian Clough, they were absolutely fantastic. But as soon as the Premier League era came and the money, Brian Clough just couldn't do any more with the club. What he did was absolutely fantastic in those 18 years that he spent with them. Yeah, 2 European Cups, winning the league in 1978, I think. Yeah, his last major trophy, I think, was 1989, though the League Cup final against Luton Town, if I'm not mistaken. But yeah, they did well. But obviously, when he left, yeah, Forest were relegated. They came back, finished third in 1995. Yeah, they finished third place. And then things just went downhill. And then the last season that they were in the Premier League was 1999. And they haven't... And it's took them 23 years to get back to where they belong, I gotta say. Because when you look at... when you think of English teams, when you think of traditional ones, Forest are one of them. And people forget how good of a team they were. Yeah, I know at one point things got so bad that they were relegated to League One, but I'm amazed that they managed to get back to the top flight with the limited resources they had. Because last season they started off so badly. In fact, they were rock bottom of the table, but then they sacked Chris Hughton, got Cooper in, the one who used to manage Swansea. He got him in, and then all of a sudden, Nottingham Forest just shot up the table. And at one point, they were not far from getting automatic promotion to the Premier League, but they couldn't do it. But they did. They got promoted through the playoffs, which I never thought that would happen, because the way that they started the season, they thought they'd be battling for relegation and probably would go back down to League One again. But amazingly, the turnaround though was just absolutely mad. And as I say, I congratulate them for getting back to where they belong. I really do. I mean, another club that had a hard time but managed to get back were, I mean, there's a few. Who else? What other teams were there that struggled? Leicester City at one point. Yeah, Leicester were relegated all the way down to League One. And then they got promoted back into the Premier League in 2014. The season after that, they go on to win the league, which is just absolutely insane. They had the odds for them to win the league were 5,000 to 1. Whoever put a bet on that, yeah, they were bloody loaded. That's all I can say. Because people that season were putting the usual favourites like Chelsea to win the league. They finished 10th, which was a massive shock. Yeah, they had like the usual suspects like Chelsea, City, Liverpool, United, even Arsenal. But yeah, a team like that, Leicester, defied the odds. Do you think that would ever happen again in our lifetime? I honestly don't know. It'd be very hard to see, especially with the money that most of the Premier League clubs have got now. Yeah, Newcastle have now become one of the rich clubs, but that's just the way it goes. That's probably enough about the football, if I'm being honest with you. So yeah, what other stuff I don't want to talk about? Oh yeah, I might mention a few of my pet peeves. I'm surprised I've not done that yet. But yeah, I'll mention a few. I can mention loads, but this video will probably go on all day and probably go on for another week if I continue. Yeah, but yeah, the one thing that absolutely annoys me, aside from my glasses almost sliding down my face. Anyway, one thing that absolutely drives me potty is that drivers. I'm not saying it. I'm not calling out every single driver. I think it's just a minority. What the hell is it with some drivers who think that they have the right to tailgate you, even though you're going at the correct speed, if not probably like a few miles an hour faster than you should? I mean, I'm not a driver, but as I say, I've been in other people's cars, and you've had people who are constantly up your arse. I'm not kidding you. They're up your arse. You might as well be in your car. You might as well be carrying extra. You might as well be carrying extra people. You might as well be tuning your bloody radio station, for goodness sake. I mean, people say, oh yeah, it's BMW drivers, it's Aldi drivers, it's Mercedes drivers. No, I've seen it in all sorts of cars. Like, could be just a normal Ford Focus, for God's sake. A VW Golf pretending it's a Golf GTI when it's not one of them at all. We've even seen it once in a Nissan Micra. I'm like, for fuck's sake, don't embarrass yourself. It's only a Nissan Micra. I mean, you know, they're always like up your arse for no reason. You're trying to follow the speed limit. And what are they trying to do? They're trying to put themselves at risk by driving like a complete knob. Yeah, and you're trying to keep a safe distance, but it's just impossible. And yeah, and them things on the motorway, the chevrons there. I mean, you have to be like the space. You have to be like, yeah, you have to be spaced between like two chevrons. We've had it where they're up your arse. I mean, there's a section on the M56 between junction 12 and junction 14. If you know where I'm on about, then yeah. But yeah, I'd say the driving is just absolutely ridiculous. And then we've had people driving through red lights, and the thing is, they know it's red, and it's those ones that they have more than enough time to stop, but they don't. I've seen all. I mean, people have been run over because of careless drivers, because they want to be the first one. They want to be ahead of everyone else. They want to be in first place no matter what. They're treating normal roads like as if it's Brands Hatch. It's not Brands Hatch. It's called. It's just a normal road. It's called health and safety. If you want to put others at risk, pay the consequences. We've had many people who've hit people and they just drive off instead of just being the sensible person and then helping them. I'm sorry, you're an absolute idiot. And like I said, I'm not saying all drivers are idiots. Most on the road are sensible. But I honestly feel as if after lockdown, it's brought the worst out in some people. Even though some people have become much kinder, a lot of people have, unfortunately, some of them have reverted back to their selfish ways. Yeah, and it annoys me. But I tell you what annoys me even more, and I'm sure it annoys everyone else too, is that you get some knobhead parking in a disabled bay and they're not even disabled. And you know why? Oh, it's because I don't want my precious little car to get scratched. Well, here's an idea. Park it somewhere else where you know it won't get scratched. Honestly. Yeah, people just... I mean, I understand that people's car is like their pride and joy, fair enough. I get that. But if you want to look after your car, at least park it in a more sensible area, and make sure that you don't park in the disabled bay. And what happens if and you're taking up a disabled bay that could be used for someone who's actually disabled, And you've had people who are genuinely disabled. They've had to drive around the car park so that they could actually find a disabled space. And some unfortunately have had to give up because of some fucking knob face stealing a spot that doesn't belong to them. I know. It honestly, it gets worse. And speaking of parking, people who park over like who park over a dropped curb, and it makes it hard for wheelchair users and the parents who have to push their kids in a pram, and they've had to they've had to go over like a steep curb just to like get across the road because some person's decided to block a crossing. It happens all the time, and we've seen it where people are blocking level crossings. Again, they don't. It's like as if they don't care about. It's like as if they don't care about those in prams or in wheelchairs. I bet you they'd be singing a different tune if they were a wheelchair user. That's all I can say. I bet they'd be singing a different tune then. It just annoys the hell out of me. Sort it out. But most are not like that, so that's good. But as I say, there's always one bad apple spoils it for the rest. What else annoys me? Yeah, I know. If you opening a door for someone, I mean, you're being polite, you let someone through. I mean, sometimes you expect sometimes you'd expect a thank you, and sometimes you do. But some people, they don't care. They don't say thank you or anything because either they're too busy absorbed in their mobile phone, wasting God knows how many brain cells. Yeah, or perhaps you've had a bad day. But everyone has a bad day, but don't use that as an excuse not to thank people. I mean, if someone opened the door for me, I say thanks because that's the kind thing to do. I mean, kindness certainly goes a long way, but like I say, it doesn't grow in every garden. I mean, why do people decide that Why do people decide that they cannot afford to use mines, yet they can afford the latest iPhone on the market? What gives? What is the actual logic? And people, I understand that some people, I understand that some people work on their phone. Some people do the businesses using their phone. I mean, yeah, that's fine. But you get these people who will spend 3/4 of their day glued to Facebook and having a look at stuff that will have no impact on their life whatsoever. There is more to life than social media. And if you can't realise that, then you need to seek some help. You really do. There is more to life than someone posting, I'm having a picture of beans on toast. Ooh, look at me. Look what I'm having. I'm at the pub with such and such. Yeah, great. But guess what? Millions of people in the UK do the same, and a lot of them don't even have to take a photo of it. They're just there to have a good time. If you're more interested in taking a photo on social media, you're not interested in spending time with them. You're only interested in your bloody phone and the amount of people that will comment. Yeah. Can't you just do stuff without wanting attention? You don't need attention. You don't need to be better than everyone else. Because if you're trying to be better than everyone else, then let's be honest with you, you're a shallow person. You know better. You know better than the people where you're trying to outsmart. In fact, if anything, you're making them look smarter and you look dumber. Yeah, and as I say, they get excited over likes and everything. And I couldn't be bothered. I can't be bothered with Facebook. I really can't be bothered. I cannot be bothered. Like, I don't care if you're having beans on toast for your breakfast. I don't care if you're having muesli. Just enjoy your breakfast. Don't take a photo of it. The only thing you should be doing with your breakfast is by stuffing it down your mouth. Well, actually, eating it. I mean, stuffing it down your mouth, you'd be like, nom, 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 just eating it ridiculously fast. And I just hit my hand on the desk. Very professional, aren't I? And what else annoys me? So we'll just get on the last. Yeah, what else annoys me? This will probably be the last thing I'll mention. I'll tell you what annoys me is if you have a conversation with people and you can clearly tell they're pretending to be interested in what you're saying, even though secretly you can tell they're thinking, God, will you shut up? Because when you have a conversation with someone, every other word's like, yeah, I know, true, that, yeah, I know. Yeah, you can tell they're not paying attention to you. And then you ask what you're talking about, and then they start like digging the hole, like, were you talking about such and such? Like, no, I wasn't talking about that. Pay attention to what I'm actually saying. And if you don't want to pay attention, piss off. You know where the door is. Just go. And don't say, yeah, I know to something. You don't bloody know. So don't say you know something when you bloody don't. You get caught out. So don't try and dig yourself into a hole and look for an excuse. You've been found out. I've known people like that since school. College was the worst for that. And I know there's a lot of people. I mean, when I left college in about 6 years ago, actually, even though I wanted to leave sooner, because I was doing it for like IT and graphic design mostly. But yeah, I know it's a few of my friends. Well, some of them were my friends until they became so absorbed in the phone where they didn't even recognize you anymore. And then you're thinking, were you really my friend at all? I'm like, nah, not really. I don't think you were. But I mean, I had great friends in college, but as I say, it was just the odd few who let's just say they changed because the mobile phone brainwashed them. I mean, the smartphone. Yeah, they call it a smartphone. It's making people become anything but smart. I mean, for goodness sake, just bring out. For goodness sake. In some ways, I wish a smartphone never existed. If I'm being honest with you, the best phones out there were like the Nokia 3310. Best mobile phones ever made. Hard as bricks. You name it. I think I'm done for today. Alright, I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'm hoping to do more of these vlogs, but you never know. I don't know what's happening, so as I say, we shall see. Anyway, I shall thank you for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Take care.